Yeah, when you start the record now, then welcome everyone. Yeah, welcome everyone. This is the Consensusism Study Group, where we meet every Thursday and Saturday. And on Thursdays, we discuss the philosophy and ideology of Pan-Africanism as set out in Consensusism. And then on Saturdays, we discuss the unification of Africa with respect to unifying the current 55 colonial governments into one all African government. That's what we want. We want one all African government on the continent. China made about 1.4 billion people. They have one government. Chinese are more than us, and yet they have one central government. Africa is 1.3 billion, and we have 55. I mean, how does that make sense? Madness, if I may use that term. We have 55 governments, central governments of 1.3 billion people. And the evidence that our formula is not working, the fact that Africa is not moving forward. The welfare of Africans is not improving because we have 55 governments. And yet in the last 10 to 20 years, China has transformed China into a world-class leading global economy. So that tells us that we are our having 55 governments is not working. So on the Saturdays we discuss that, and so yeah. So thank you all for coming. On Thursdays when we discuss philosophy and ideology, we read, and then once we've read, everybody then shares their thinking on what we have read. Let's remember, in this space, we are all Africans and we are all equal. Nobody is more equal than any other person. Secondly, the views shared here are all important. Everyone's view is important. Everyone's thinking, I may stress, is important in the sense that we must hear from everyone. And your thinking about a matter is just as important as the other person's. We are not saying that all thinking are right, because 1 and 1 is not 5, it is 2. If you're thinking that 1 and 1 is 5, we can say your thinking is wrong, but it doesn't mean that your thinking is not important. Because for us to get you to a position where you move from 1 plus 1 is 5, 1 plus 1 is 2, so more thinking has to go into it. And if we are kind and professional towards one another, show reparative love, professional love to one another, we can get others to move from their position, which sometimes can be very emotional because you're asking people to give up things that they value. And so we will be in a better position to change the thinking of brothers and sisters if we start with where they are rather than disrespecting them and telling them that, and sometimes humiliating them because they are wrong. So in this space, we express reparative love, which I mean reparative professional love. We express that. We express concern. We express, respect, African respect for one another. So thank you for coming. So the reading is on the screen. As I said, we'll read and then we'll discuss. That is how we share our thinking. So thank you all for coming. Currently, we have 6 of us, and hopefully others will also join as we proceed. Thank you very much. Brother Pigeon has been sharing our recordings. and our subscribers are increasing slowly. Yeah, we'll get there.
Brother Kwame,
Yeah. Yes.
there's no reading on the screen.
Okay, so I'm going to share that now. I was sharing it. I think I changed my mind. So yeah, I'm going to change that now. Right. So I am trying to share the screen. It is open on my system, but to be able to share, I need to see it on here. So that's what I'm doing now. Okay. If you've just joined us, welcome. Welcome if you just joined us. We are going to discuss consensusism Thursday. We discuss and read and discuss our thinking. Brother Pigeon, carry on and whilst I sort this out, yeah?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Welcome once again, everybody. As Brother Kwame has said, we do our study and our reading, and this week, from last week to this week, we've been studying the universe. So many concepts on the universe, whether the universe is circled or whether the universe. So it has been infinite, and those are the aspects that you'll be seeing once the screen is shared. I had shared this text to SMS and text to anybody who is here, probably in our broadcast list and in our WhatsApp group. You can get the text of what you are reading today. The paragraphs were shared in SMS and in the text via WhatsApp. So yes, this is what we do. We are still on the universe, and I think now the screen is clear. And yeah, so but come you just move up a bit. It's the paragraphs above. I think it's the second paragraph. That's where we should be starting this page.
Oh, this one here?
Yeah.
The one that's with several
so
persons.
we ended with the paragraph. Yeah, we ended with the paragraph above that the cyclic nature of the universe pales away like a dream. Now we want to start that second paragraph.
Oh, I see.
Yes, this one.
Yes. Okay. So, okay. So we take the readings in turn, which means that we read in turn. So everybody can read, and that's how we will do it. Sister Ida, I know you've joined us today. How is your screen looking like? Are you able to
I'm
read
sort
for
of in
us,
transit
Ida?
at the moment, and I'm probably going to be backwards and forwards, so I might not, but I am listening.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so today we'll ask brother, oh, but before that, brother Renumi, welcome. Would you like to read for us, please? Thank you. Right. If Brother Fukwa is not ready, then
Okay, yes, I'm good. Okay, I was sharing a link actually and coming back. We should just start from several persons.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Several persons who reject the cyclic theory acclaim the universe as an infinite presence and seek in this way to make it permanent. But an infinite universe is no more a permanent universe than is a finite one. Even a universe which is infinite may come to an end, irrespective of whether it is infinite in time, in space, or both. A universe which is infinite in time can end in the same way as the negative integers, for it is sufficient that it should have existed infinitely backwards. A universe which has existed infinitely backwards can cease at any time without its infinitude suffering decrease. Its cessation would be comparable to a cut at any point in the series of negative integers. Given any negative integer, there's always an infinity of negative integers which lie behind it. As to a universe which is infinite in space, it can cease to exist at any time without prejudice to its size. In order that a universe... Okay, anyone?
Hold on. Now you read the whole paragraph. So thank you for that. Okay. All right. Okay. Read that paragraph, then we'll stop there. Read in order that, yeah.
In order that a universe...
We'll end it.
Yes, in order that a universe should be permanent, it must have neither beginning nor end, like the continuity of the negative with the positive integers.
Okay. So we'll hold on to that second paragraph. Let's discuss the first one first. From several persons to without prejudice to its size. So let's hear what your thinking are, everyone. And so we are dealing here with philosophy, not so much ideology at this stage, but we are dealing with philosophy. And by philosophy, we mean what is the nature of our universe. And by that, we mean if we ask a question, what is our universe made of? What is the answer that we give? So that is what we are dealing with. The question of the ideology that arises from the philosophization will come later. So let's remind ourselves we are still in chapter 1, which is philosophy in retrospect, by which you mean turn around and look behind you, like in the African saying, Sankofa, which means turn around and pick up what is in the past, or go back into the past and bring to current reality what is in your past. So Sankofa, that's what the word means. I'm sure in Luo you have the same similar words as well. So Luo and other languages, Igbo, Yoruba, and so on. Okay, and certainly for the Fukwa in your language as well. Okay, so let's hear from everyone. So what we do is we go one at a time and we hear from everyone. Why? Because everyone's thinking is important. Your thinking is as important as the thinking of other people. I can't stress how important this is, because we have seen recently how, because of technology, you see people disrespecting others on WhatsApp and so on, because it's social media. They can't see someone face to face. They don't know who they are talking to. And sometimes they talk in a way that is so disrespectful, that is so un-African. So in this space, in this Zoom meeting, even though social media, a form of social media, we show respect to everybody. Age is not an issue. We respect you irrespective of your age. The view of a 20-year-old is just as valuable as the view of a 50-year-old or a 70-year-old. when it comes to the African public conversation. All of us are important. So we've read. Let's now hear from everyone. Then I'll go one after the other and ask everyone to share their thinking of what we've read. So what we have read is on the screen. Please feel free to say to us, come back to me. I'm not here to ready to discuss. Yeah. And then you listen more to other people, what they have to say. And then that might help you in your thinking. And then you can come back and share. Yeah. Certainly, I will ask everyone to share. Okay. But please remember, you are not under obligation to share if you feel you don't have anything to share. Yeah. But what we do say is that you must be a thinker, because the problem on the continent is that we don't have enough thinkers. Yeah. So we want you to be a thinker and solve things very deeply. At least do that for us. Yeah. Do that for Africa. Therefore. And also, remember, you can also ask questions. You share your thinking. That is also fine. And some questions, I'll put it to us all. I'll ask here, what do we think about the question that brother or sister and so has asked? Okay. All right. So here we go. Brother Pigeon, what do you think about the reading?
Thank you, Brother Kwame. Yeah, from my thinking is that there's a discussion here whether the universe is finite or infinite. And I'm getting from my little understanding that the word
just
finite,
so you know, Comrade Pigeon, Brother Pigeon, just so you know, Brother Pigeon, just so you know, that word, I say finite, is also finite. And finite.
Okay.
So you know. Yeah. All right. Carry on.
Okay. The word finite is something like, to the understanding I'm getting, is something that is countable. And the word infinite means something that is not countable. So the discussion here is whether, of course, the universe is either infinite or finite. And what I'm getting again is there's a understanding here that even a universe which is infinite may come to an end, irrespective of whether it is infinite in time or space. So basically, there's a conclusion that the universe is a I think basically is whether the universe, as we've been having this conversation, my thinking is that whether basically we can trace the origin of the universe. And is that the universe, as said in the last paragraph, it has no beginning or no end. And therefore, anybody who want to claim or actually want to share what they think is the origin of the universe cannot be able to do that, because it has no end, neither the beginning. So if it has the beginning, then you can trace it, when did it start. But if it has also the end, you can tell when will it end. But this understanding, the universe cannot be said that
Are you commenting?
This date, which means,
hold on. Are you commenting on the next paragraph?
No, I'm just saying the understanding on the finite and infinite in regards to the second paragraph, which is very short explanation. But basically, maybe
I would like you to leave that one alone and just deal with dealing with the paragraph, the big paragraph first. Come to the second one.
Okay.
Later.
I think I'll expand my thinking later. Maybe we go to the next person.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Brother Foucault.
Yes, the way I'm looking at the text, actually, I'm trying to value this term integers, because I think that that's where at last the real meaning of the paragraph comes out, because we have to reason in context of the other chapters that we've read before, and at last coming here to look at this specific concept of the universe now being an infinite presence, but Osajifo trying to go into a deeper context to make you understand that even if the universe is valued as an infinite presence, which just naturally it should be, if you want to evolve, I would say your most logical philosophy or cosmology, then you still cannot get away from the fact that even in that infinity, there has to be a subject to a termination of the infinity in sequence, because even in the prior paragraphs, I think it was pointed out that my train of thought is running away trying to go back. But just looking at the fact that he's pointing out
do you want us to deal with the integers now?
Yeah, yes, I was trying to link to that by going back to something that was trying to come into my head from the previous reading, but since it didn't link well, I realized that I shouldn't go back. Let me just stay in the context of what we're discussing in this chapter. So if I don't go back, I can still look at the idea of integers in relation to the fact that you have with integers where we're thinking of positive linear progression in time. And using the number now of an integer, which is what an integer is. You just look at the definition. An integer is the number
can I,
0. Yes.
I can come back to you so can.
Okay, yes, feel free. Yes, go ahead, so that I can really compose my thought clearly. Yeah, yes, that would be fair.
You trying to do it was so if you want to do, let me go to somebody and then your thing, because you are in the previous paragraph. Okay, thank you for that. Sister Ida, I see your hand is up. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I was wondering if I could say my bit now, because I think
yes, you can.
He's talking about positive and negative.
I say you can because I'm thinking you've got an opportunity to speak and you want to make use of it quickly before it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm thinking that the beginning is telling us about negative. I think he's using integers as like positive and negative, and the beginning talks about the negative.
Yes. This is just to help you, and the word integer mathematics simply means negative and positive whole numbers.
Yes, I recognize that's what he was talking about.
And positive whole numbers.
Oh, whole numbers. Oh,
not
okay.
fractions, not fractions,
okay.
Not parts of a thing.
Yeah.
Whole
numbers. Okay. But I recognize that the first
1,
bit of the
2, 3, 4, that were in the past. -1.
Yeah, I've got that bit.
Hello, Sister Ida. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay. I got that bit, and I got that the first bit paragraph was talking about the negative.
Hey, come on. You go on. Yeah.
You can't hear me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
It
fluctuates. But yeah, we can hear you. It's fluctuating, but we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, I can
we
go
can
outside.
hear you. Yes.
I think that the first paragraph was talking about the negative side, and was saying that if it's negative, it's coming from I think the past, like things have happened in before, and it's coming backwards. I think that's what I was getting out of this. That but I could be very, very wrong. But I thought that when you're talking negative integers, it's about things that have happened, and you're getting it in the past, rather than something has happened and you're getting it at the time. That was where. So I think that which you said you didn't want us to go into, but to me, the second bit is about.
You mean the second paragraph in order that one. Okay, if you want to link it, that's fine.
Yeah. So to me, the second paragraph was saying that if there was both positive and negative, then it's like a circle. It doesn't it keeps going. I think that's how I heard it.
No beginning. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your
circular.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your thinking. Anything else you want to say before I move on to someone else?
No, not really. Not really.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
But I mean, it was interesting that's about the universe rather than just specifics. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we know very little about the universe. So at least that's how I think of it. So. Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
The cosmos. Excellent. Let me welcome Maxter, Marlene, Albi, Mauli, and Mr. Gonza. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the class. So let's hear from Brother Mafafa, please.
Thanks, Chair. One may we would have to share my thinking on this complex paragraph. May you begin on your screen, Comrade Kwame, so that you can see the several parts on the top.
Yes, give me a moment. You want me
Yes.
to put the screen up, yeah? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, leadership. My thinking on this complex paragraph, I will say it is complex because I'm trying to understand what Dr. Ngwame Nkrumah was trying to say in explaining the cosmetic material, which is the universe. He is using time. I think time, we know that time have been defined before, to say that time also it's a raw material. But what I do not, I have a question to this class, to say, he is saying several persons who rejected the cyclic theory acclaim the universe as an infinite present and seek this way to make it permanent. But an infinite universe is more a permanent universe than is a finite one. But he then say, even those that are saying infinite, an infinite universe may come to the end. But when you look at the word infinite, it says that it only, in my understanding, it means that when something is infinite or infinite, the way you pronounce it, it's something that is limitless. It is limitless. Something like as if it is non-ending. Non-ending. For example, when those who are Christian believers, they say that the mercy of God is limited. It's something that is limited. But now, Nkrumah says, even those who have that belief, but they must understand that the universe will come to the end. I think he's also trying, according to my thinking, he's also trying to say that.
Brother Mafafa. Brother Mafafa.
Yes, yes,
as you are
Brother Kwame,
that and you are also a master. Let me just jot or just your thinking. So infinite sequence or series. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Go on, Brother Pigeon. Pigeon, go on.
No, I'm saying that I don't know if I'm the one with the problem, because I'm not getting you clearly. You are breaking, or am I the one with the network problem?
Brother Pigeon, I can't hear you. Well, let's ask others. Can anybody hear me okay? Or am I breaking?
Yes, we can hear you, but
Can everyone hear me okay?
At some particular point, we cannot hear you at some particular point, but at some time we can hear you. Yes.
Yes. You're breaking on and off.
You can hear me now. Okay. Yeah, now. It's now. Okay. So, Brother Mafafa, I was drawing your attention to the fact that you can have an infinite sequence that is either convergent or divergent. So when it's convergent, it means it will converge and then it will come to an end. But divergent means it just diverges and never can end. So yes, something can be infinite, but it can either converge or diverge. So I just thought I'd draw attention to that. Yes, go.
Oh no, I know, that's clear. No, now I can understand what I was trying to explain here. And also when I think you have also explained the part that I wanted to share also my thinking to say a universe which is infinite in time can end in the same way as the negative integers, for it's sufficient that it should be have an existent infinite backwards. I think you've also explained that to say that when you speak about integers, we are just speaking about whole numbers, usually say it whether positive or negative, but integers are just positive numbers. But when you say about negative, we speak about the backwards, the opposite direction. But what I'm drawing from that to say when you is using the concept of integers, I'm drawing that as much as you can try to explain or define the universe is a whole, which means it's not a half. That the understanding I have to say, as much as we can explain the universe, we must understand that the universe is a whole. That's my feeling. Thank you.
Although someone would say to you, well, not really, but anyway, yeah, okay. Madam Afafa, let's go to Sister Marlene, please.
I just came on, so I didn't hear it being read.
I'll come back to you, Sister Marlene. Let's hear from Mr. Godza, please. Brother Kwame Godza.
Thank you, Chair. This paragraph is quite difficult. I'm failing to get the gist of it, but what I understand is what it is coming out with for me is the concept of everything has within itself or has within it the seeds of its own destruction and then creation. This is what I'm getting from this paragraph. But the distinction of the interaction of
can I have you, Mr. Brother Kwame? What in that paragraph is making you get that thinking?
Yeah, so when he's talking about that the infinite can be destroyed in the same way, or the infinite can come to an end in the same way, like the finite can also come to an end. That is where
like the negative numbers coming to an end.
Yes, so he said that the negative numbers can be, like, for example, cut off and discontinued. And then in one side said they continue forward. So there is somewhere where it is kind of confusing me there. So
okay,
the
so
is creating
yeah, okay. Yeah, let me help you there, but yes, Brother Kwame, let me come in there so that you can share your thinking with us. So basically, wherever you start from in terms of the negative numbers, whether you start from negative 10 billion, wherever you start from in the past, as Sister Ida was saying about the past, you start counting from that negative whatever billion, billion. When you are counting, you count and count. At some point, you will get to the number negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4. What is coming close to 0 now? Then negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. And then at that point, the negative numbers, when it gets to 0, the negative numbers have now ended. That's the end of negative numbers. It doesn't matter where you started from, how big it was in terms of infinity. And the negative numbers are also infinite. Infinite in the sense that there's end to the negative numbers. But however infinite large it is, it always terminates at 0. And then from 0, the positives come in. Then we go to 1. Then we go to 2. Then we go to 3 and 4 and so on. And then When you start counting from 1, 2, 3, that also is infinite. You can go as far as I don't know, 100 billion, 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 billion. Doesn't matter how far you go, there is just no end. Because any human being has ever gone to verify that. Remember that. There's no human being that has verified that. Because, well, for different reasons, nobody has lived that long to tell us that it's true. But that is a logical, it's a logical thing. Now, so that is what he's saying. So, Mr. Gonz, I hope that helps you to
but the issue, the idea
that
of
the
counting,
end of one thing can be the beginning of it.
Okay, so if you say that
carry on.
That the infinite is not permanent and the finite is not permanent, that is where I got confused. And also what I wanted
the permanency, hold on. The permanency is only coming in with respect to the second question of philosophy. So the first question is, what is the universe made of? And the answer can be two, either matter or spirit. Second question is saying, well, if it is matter or spirit, how big is it? And how has it been here? That's where those questions are coming from. Has it been forever and ever? What does forever and ever even mean? So those questions of permanency are coming in because of the second question of philosophy. Can I remind everyone that although we are discussing very complex and deep and confusing topic, keep in mind what we're really discussing ultimately is the permanency of the African universe, our African world. Is Africa going to be there permanently, or is it going to end? So keep that in mind. That is what we are really discussing as well. So keep that in mind. On the other hand, keep it in mind that when we come to application, in this paragraph, are we reading the fact that the imperialist universe or the imperialist world may come to an end? If people can't even see it, some don't think it's even possible that the imperialist universe will be destroyed and a new universe will come into being. That could be the African life all over again. So I'm just attention to the fact that what we are discussing has application to the African, we as Africans. Mr. Gonza, yeah, carry on. Can I also say at this point, because I'm talking too much and I'm the chair, can I ask Brother Pigeon to now chair, please? So I'll stop talking and also come in when I need to come in.
Yeah, so
Brother Pigeon.
This one I will reach out to you personally
to
discuss it.
Mr. Gonza, hold on. Mr. Gonza, hold on. Brother Pigeon, can you hear me? I need him to unmute himself so I can know he's with me. I don't think he's with me. Okay. All right. Carry on, Mr. Gonza. When he comes in, I will hand over to him. Right, carry on.
Yeah. So this issue, I think I'll call you so that we can discuss it much a little bit further, beyond here, so that I can be able to understand it very well, personally.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Brother Gonza. Let me go to Brother Mafafa back. Brother Mafafa, do you have something? I've seen your hand is up before I move to the next person.
I think he's spoken already, but yeah, carry on. Yeah, go on.
Yes,
carry on, brother.
Yes, thanks, Chair. I'm making a follow-up question from what Brother Gonza is presenting. Is sharing his thinking, the previous one, and I have a question also myself to Comrade Chair, to Comrade Kwame, to say, you see the complex of this paragraph. How can you then draw our attention to define, for example, on the issue of negative integers, as you explain it, to say that, as you know, that if you are coming from -9 is less than is less than -1. Then what is the logic there? Which means, how do we move? I'm just trying to understand. I'm a bit confused. May you try to bring some understanding there. Thanks, Chair.
Okay. Do you mean in terms of its application, or do you mean in terms of its application, or in terms of the thinking? So I think here. So let's remember.
In terms of its application to defining the universe. Yes.
Okay. So let's remember that the concept of numbers in terms of the negative integers, you can also, although you can as in terms of largeness, that -100 is smaller than -1. Let's also remember that it can also mean the opposite of something. Yeah, does that make sense? It can also mean the opposite, in the sense that if you have 10 on the positive side, the opposite of 10 is -10. There is that thinking as well. But in terms of what we are reading here, what it's saying is that it doesn't matter how far back you go. It doesn't matter how far back you go. The negative integers can come to an end. No matter how far back you go, it can come to an end. And I think that is the central idea here. So in terms of the application, you can say that no matter how far back you go in terms of imperialism, if you like, you can conceive of imperialism, even if it is stronger today than it was 100 years ago. Yeah, it can still come to an end. However powerful it is today than it was 5 years ago, in the sense that -5, is smaller than -1, which means that neocolonialism, if you like, is more powerful than colonialism. Even if you look at it in that light, what this theory is telling us is that it doesn't mean it is so powerful that it cannot end. It can still end. And so what Brother Gonza was saying then comes up, which is that, as he was saying, he can see the idea that something is destroyed and something else is reborn. Let me pause there because I don't want to talk too much.
Are you saying that, are we talking about the universe as a planet, or are we talking about what goes on in the universe?
The answer is that we are talking about the cosmos, and the cosmos has different galactic systems in it. In other words, a planet, like for us, we have what, 8 planets. The Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Uranus, Neptune, and so on. Now, these are planets only in our solar system. Remember that our solar system, Marlin, is not the only solar system. So when we are talking about the cosmos, we are talking about the cosmos, everything, not just our
I understand that, but then you go on to talking about the European controlling, or the near colonialism is
that comes in, Marlin, with respect to application of what we are discussing. But we don't need to do that now. We can just discuss the philosophy first, and then remember that all that we are discussing has application to us as Africans. That's the point I was making.
Right, so it's getting quite technical. So
it has to be, because we are dealing with an enemy that is so technically sophisticated, and that is why I keep saying to us all that we must be clear in our minds that for us to defeat the enemy, we must know what the enemy knows and know more than what the enemy knows. So this is not a walk in the park. And Brother Fuqua has, if you recall his presentation so far, that there is such a thing as a shadow government. You understand? And
as
so what we are saying is that
as a
shadow government, yeah. So what we are talking about here are very powerful forces. And the word in Nkrumah uses formidable. The enemy is formidable. So yes, I agree with you, Sister Mali, that it is technical, but I am afraid we just have to deal with it, however technical it is.
Why
It
don't we
doesn't
go
mean that
to
it doesn't mean that we shall all be able to understand that the technical part at the same level, and we all don't have to. But at least in the leadership, there should be those of us who should be able to take on the enemy at any level. I'll pause there.
Well, listening
Thank
to
you,
you
Mr.
there, can I just finish this little bit off? Listening to you there, the Dogon people
But you are sharing, yeah?
seem to be quite knowledgeable. Why don't we turn to them at some point? Does any
Who are
of
these?
Dogon
Sister Ida?
people?
Sister Mary?
Have you heard
Dogon?
of the Dogon people? Has anyone heard of the Dogon people in Africa?
Yes, we have.
Exactly. So they seem to be able to know a lot, in advance, or they did know, or they know certain subject. Could they be of any help to Africa?
Yeah. Should I come in?
Yeah, because you know what I'm
Yes.
talking about.
I think I don't know. I joined, but if we should go there, we might sway away from the topic of discussion. However,
Okay, true.
that is another discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, comrade. We will prepare, maybe we'll discuss, and maybe if there's a need for presentation in that line, well and good. Because now we have a continuous presentation every Saturday, whereby Brother Foko is trying to focus on the spiritual angle. You see, this discussion we are having is out of a reading on what is the origin of the cosmos, or what is the origin of raw material, the basic raw material for the cosmos. And there's two beliefs. One are those who believe that the origin of raw materials or cosmic raw material became from water. Then there's those people who believe, like the Berkeley, that it is from spirits. So from the spiritual angle, those are the key philosophical questions we're dealing with this first paragraph. What it is and how what it is. So this aspect of how what it is now is the second question we're dealing with. If you read this paragraph on philosophy from the start, this is what you've been dealing with. Two questions: what it is. Is it water or spirit that the universe is made up of? Then how that what it is coming in, and that's why we are now discussing the universe and how it goes around and all around, and this is where we are. So yes, if there's a presentation on such kind, we can note it in our line, and if there's anybody in this group who can be willing to present on that, Dongma people, will give you a space for that. But now we are still going on with the presentation from Brother Foko on Saturdays, where we discuss on the shadow governments and the other aspect on how religion and churches have been used to control Africa and recolonize Africa. So I think that is in order. I'd like to inform Brother Kwame that his screen is no longer with us, so we can be able to share his screen once again. I think that will be proper. Then I'll move to Brother. There's a Brother Nani I was going to, Brother Spala from South Africa, but it seems he has left us. He's joined back. Let me go to, let me check. Brother Kwame, are you able to share the screen so that Brother the King Mawuli was reacting to this Sister Malin question can maybe respond to what is on the context of what you are reading now? Brother Mawuli, will you be able to share something, or we wait for the screen to be shared?
Okay, so we are talking about the universe. Right now, currently, I like it's as if I just jump into the middle of the ocean and not really know where the discussion is going from. You give a background which is talking about the universe, as in whether it is made out of water or it is made out of spirit. Is that it?
Yes, that's the first question in this chapter. This chapter is philosophy in this topic, which means we are looking back to the origin of the philosophy, or where the universe came from. And there are two beliefs, either water or spirits. And now we are in this question. So that's where we are coming from.
Okay. So spirit from the little I know, something that goes beyond. Science is now catching up to spirit when they talk about spirit. Because spirit is in the both negative and the positive aspect of, as we were talking about the integers, the numbers, the infinite and the other things we spoke about. So spirit itself is a form of consciousness, but that is not aware of itself. That is actually guiding things to make things happen at the outer level. Now, how did all this, we talk about atoms and all those stuff coming in play and all those things. And we talk about how all those things interconnect or have these electrical reactions that's actually projects, or informs what happens externally in a subtle form. So now, how then do we assess this when it comes to we, the human being, and also the universe at large? Because from what I know, the universe within is as much bigger just as the universe external. How do we get to know, once we are able to figure out how to know deep into within, how we know the deep, then we'll be able to figure out what is external. So that is where the question is. How do we know the deep within? How do we know that?
And that's basically now we are in the universe. What is it? So we are trying now to understand this universe. Is it infinite or is it finite? And all this other material, how is it made up? The cosmology or the cosmic raw material. So this is where we are, and that's where this paragraph speaks to. And that's why we want to get your thinking in regards to this paragraph. What do you get out of it?
What I get out of it currently, can I really hold on to we continue on deeper so that I'll get to, because I'm taking it from, I don't really know what's really going on currently and what we are even reading about.
Okay,
so
thank
can I
you.
join
I know
about
you
2
are
or
the
3 times so that I can have my thoughts
yeah.
on it? Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome. As a
Okay.
new person, maybe probably introduce yourself to where are you from and who you are probably, so that we can be able to know who you are. And then we will invite you I know you are from the Global African Reparation Congress. Is that where you come from?
Yes.
Okay, but where are you residing in Africa or abroad or any specificality?
I'm from Ghana. I'm actually not, in Carrier sent the link and I joined on one of the platforms.
Okay, you're welcome. So we do this every Thursday at 1700 plus GMT, but 1900 plus GMT, we have this conversation and we've been doing the reading. I'll share with you also the book. Probably I'll share the link to our WhatsApp in the chat so that you can join. Then I'll share with you the book we are reading, which is Consciousness in the book by Kwame Nkrumah, The Philosophy and Ideology for Decolonizing Africa. We have the soft copy and we have the audio version that I'll also share with you so that you can also be able to understand. So we are still in chapter 1, which is philosophy in retrospect. And in this philosophy in retrospect, we question the cosmic raw material and the universe, what the nature of the universe, what it entails, and everything else. So that's what we are doing in this first paragraph. And to any member of join us, that is what we do. And we will be moving forward to other chapters as we go on slowly and slowly as we build up onto this. So you are all welcome and feel free and feel most welcome once again. Every Thursday you can catch up with us, and every Saturday we have an African unification conversation, same time 1900 plus GMT, where we discuss on how can we unite Africa out of these 55 states into one state as per the vision of Kwame Nkrumah, so that we can develop Africa and totally liberate it. So you are all welcome once again.
Okay.
So I'll go to
how will I get your contact then?
I'll share the link to the WhatsApp group in our chat now so you can join. Then you can get in touch with me. I'll also share my contact so that I can share with you all relevant material.
Which group are you talking about? I'm not in.
Okay, I'll share with you the group. We are in Consciousism study group. We have a WhatsApp group for this study class.
Okay. Okay. I'm not on that platform. That's why I'm saying that.
Yes, I will share with you now. I'll share in the chat. Thank you. Welcome. So,
Okay.
sister, brother Spala, Ras Spala. I don't know if brother Kwame is trying to share his screen, or can I do that? But mine will be very small. So probably Ras Spala, did you get the text? And I think you have the reading in your SMS WhatsApp text, because I texted this. I had copied this page, this paragraph into a WhatsApp text. So brother Spala, can you comment the paragraph by either reading the WhatsApp text I shared in the group or in your inbox in regards to this paragraph? Brother Spala from South Africa.
Yes, my brother. Can you please repeat your question, my brother?
Are you able to share your thinking in regards to the paragraph you are reading? I know it is offline, but you have it in your SMS that I sent you for notification for this class. Are you able to do any commentary now?
On the current paragraph we're dealing with now in the class.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, no, I can share, my brother, but I was really interested in hearing other people. But yeah, it's fine. I'll just be brief. I think for me it's still the same ideology I've shared previous meeting, which was a bit of both, hitting the birds with stones, in a sense of the universe itself. We can all agree that it's infinite, while we can also agree that all the objects or the matter within the universe can be finite. I even made an example of the sun, our solar system, and I said that our sun, the solar system, is believed to be 4.6 billion years old, you see. But when you look at the most of the ancient cultures of the humans here in Earth, you will find that they believe they believe that the sun has always been there since it's been here for 4.6 billion years ago. And while humans were created 200,000 years ago. So for me, I've always tried to be on that form of ideology, trying to pick up and hold on to whatsoever may come through. I never dispute both of them. I don't dispute the infinite, nor do I don't dispute the infinite. The finite and the infinite, I don't dispute them. I find them as one thing, but it depends on what context we're talking about. For instance, like I'm saying last time before I close, the universe, we can say it's infinite. Then all the matter inside the universe, we can say that they are finite. And I made an example of the sun, which is a plasma in terms of the four fundamental matters of the universe. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade. Let me go to Brother Fokwa, who was having some thinking before. Are we been able to maybe develop further
Yes.
further contribution in the
Yes, actually, just even tying to what our brother was just saying, it has the relationship to the first law of thermodynamics, actually, that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So Krumah now, what he's doing is he's weighing the value of the fact that since energy cannot be created or destroyed, and the universe itself has to exist, like I was reflecting in the previous chapter, he says that now it is possible to conceive the dimension as itself spanning a universe. You see, we're looking now at how time dimension as itself spans universe. So Krumah uses the idea of integers being positive or linear and negative or non-linear in progression, demonstrate how time in the universe, even if it is infinite, it should lead to the logical conclusion that the physical universe can never be physical forever, but as energy would exist inside it. Because just to quote again from the text, he says, in order that a universe should be permanent, it must have neither beginning nor end, like the continuity of the negative with the positive integer. So when non-existing, the universe would be represented as a negative integer. And when it would be existing, it would be represented as a positive integer, meaning that in a positive state, and then as a positive integer, you have a state of existence in its cycle. So it's even like the binary using a digit which only has two possible values, to be 0 or 1. Because either value should not be able to exist in the same space at the same time, the universe, again, it must be cyclic. Because even if we're just valuing 0 or 1, when we talk of the digital sequence and how it's used to create the computer codes on our internet, the 0 represents a closed position, and the 1 represents, again, an open position. So just to get like the cycles of the universe, that's what I feel that he's expressing. And the conflict we have is that because humans actually are very finite. We are born, we know when we begin. We pass into transition, we know when we will also leave the earth. And we see this cycle in our own existence. So it's difficult for us to actually really conceive the universe that we are in as being infinite. We try to see that it has a beginning, it has an end. And yes, what Kuma's bringing up, that yes, even if this is such, it has to exist in cycles, because fundamentally, even we want to, like when we talk of what is was it water or was it spirit? If we just want to look in contemporary context of what we know as science has taught us, we can speak in terms of energy being in different states. And that gives us now a cyclic progression of the universe, now represented with the integers. That's what I was able to draw from that paragraph at last.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for that. To members who have joined us, is there anybody who has grasped any understanding of this paragraph that would like to share? Maybe to add on whatever you've shared before, or maybe if you haven't shared anything, you might want to share anything now, based on the understanding and the explanation that have been given before. Maybe you might have been able to develop a position or a thinking that you can share. If
Repeat, have you heard from everyone?
Yeah.
Have you heard from everyone?
Yeah, Mafafa has given a contribution. Maybe there's a new person who have joined now. Whom I'm not sure if they can be able to share, but let me ask them if they have grasped the understanding. Maybe, probably. Brother Albay's Walls. Are you?
So have we heard from Ensa, Ras, Albi? Have we heard from all of them?
There are only two who have joined recently, which is Albi and Ensa.
Okay. All right. All right, carry on. Thanks.
But I'd like to know whether they have something they can share, or we can carry on. Let me start by Albi. Albi Walls, I know you are new to this class. Probably you can introduce yourself and maybe tell us if there's anything you can contribute.
Brother Pigeon, I must say that this class is a thinking class. It's encouraging Africans to think. So when you come to our class, we are encouraging you to think. Think about what you have heard. Think about what we've read. Think about what is on screen, and thinking. Your thinking is so important for Africa. Yeah. So please, you may not have anything to say, but what we do say is that please think. Thinking. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Brother Walls.
Pigeon, over to you.
Comrade Walls.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, thank you. I don't have anything to contribute at this time. I'm happy to be here for my first time. I just saw the link on my comrades sent the WhatsApp message. So I'm a student of Nkrumah and Pan-Africanism. So I'm here to learn, and hopefully I'll be able to contribute more in future. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're most welcome. And we love more people joining us so that we can continue and growing together and sharing and discussing together. For this is a class for thoughtful action. We have to think, then move to action. Based on our thinking, can move to action. So we all want Africans to think so that we can move to action. And our action is total liberation, total unification, and total development of Africa. But before we reach there, we must be able to think and be conscious enough. And this is what you're doing. This is the process you're going through. So most welcome. I'll be sharing the link to our WhatsApp group in the chat so that you can be able to join us and maybe get updates in our classes. But you can also maintain the link and share the link you logged in with. Every Thursday is the same link, 1900 GMT. Every Thursday. And every Saturday, we have another link. Every Saturday, 1900 GMT +1. You can join us for this discussion in the same place. So, most welcome. Comrade Nsa, A. But Comrade Wells, where are you joining us from? Sorry for that.
Good evening, everyone. Actually, I'm joining from the United Arab Emirates, and I'm so happy to be here because actually, Minister Ambi has always stressed on having taken the lead and guided us for this meeting. There have not always been chance to at least be in this forum to at least comprehend and to learn what is being taught. So this is my first time, and I'm happy to be here.
Oh, great, Comrade. Feel most welcome again. And anytime you feel like you can be sharing your thinking in regards to what is in the screen, so kindly read that paragraph in the screen. And if you are able to develop some thinking in regards to that paragraph, you're free to share with us. So feel most welcome, and thank you for joining us. There's another comrade here I'm seeing from Comrade Joseph Antony. Can you just let us know where you're joining us from, Joseph Antony? And maybe you're most welcome. I know you've joined like a minute ago, but it's good to introduce yourself.
Yes, I am Joseph Anfine. I'm calling you from Grenada in the Caribbean, the country that the United States has invaded in 1983, the smallest country in the world. I just got this link. I don't even know what it is, but I realized it has something to do with Africa, and I just joined it one time.
Okay, feel most welcome. Brother Kwame, maybe you can, Brother Kwame, Christian Kwame, maybe you can share more on whatever we've been discussing here, maybe to make our new members understand us better what you're doing, and maybe now we can move to the next paragraph, having that everybody has shared their model of thinking to those who are able. Brother Christian Kwame?
Yeah, thank you very much, brother. Hold on. Can you hear me? I'm repeating. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. So, yes, I'm sorry I was had slight internet challenge, so I didn't hear what everyone had to say. So not sure how to respond. But I'm sure you shared your thing. There are many ways to look at this reading, but at the end of the day, I can want to say two things. The first, in fact, three. The first is that let's all understand that we are discussing the. That's what we are discussing. The second thing I think we need to understand is that the philosophy that we are reading, it's in retrospect. So this first paragraph of consensusism is dealing with philosophy in retrospect, which is a way of saying that let's turn around, retro, turn around and inspect, to look, to see, to gaze, and let's look at what has gone on in the past. So in effect, what we are discussing is the African heritage in terms of philosophy. And I think we are all here aware, given, for example, taking into account what, for example, writers like Chinwezu, George James, Chancellor Adams, all shared with us. I think we can all understand that there is no such thing as Western philosophy. That primarily philosophy is basically rich African philosophy. That is what it is, with a large dose of not understanding what the Africans meant or were thinking, and in some cases very confused. So we are dealing with our own African heritage. That's the second thing I want to draw attention. The third thing I want to draw attention to is that there are only two philosophies. Yeah? There is the philosophy of idealism and the philosophy of materialism. When we say materialism, we don't mean the way we use the word materialistic. That's not what we mean. We mean philosophical materialism. And they mean that if you ask a question, oh, tell us what is the origin of our universe for the idealists, or you can say matter, and mean things like the elements, hydrogen, oxygen, calcium, and so on. Those are the fundamental elements. So those are the two answers. And what we are grappling with in this paragraph is a question of, if you like, infinitude and permanency. And what we are saying is that even when we say that the universe is infinite, what we are reading is just because something is infinite doesn't mean that it cannot come to an end. Something infinite still come to an end, just like the negative numbers. Yeah, and something new can begin. Our infinite universe has come to an end. And so you have the beginning of the positive numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, and that's the beginning, if you like, positive integers. Here you have one ending and one beginning. And in terms in terms of the application to our concrete existence, our thinking as Africans, and our experiences in the concrete environment in which we live, the environment of being exploited, humiliated, suppressed, and oppressed, as we have seen recently in West Africa, in Niger, Burkina Faso, and so on, but also in the south of the continent, like Swaziland, which we shall hear of on Saturday. That these things apply to us, that it is possible for one world to end and another one to begin. So what we are reading is the idea of infinitude, finitude, and permanency. The problem, as one of us was saying earlier, was that sometimes all the things we're discussing are to what is inside our universe, because there's only one universe. There can't be 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. If there are 5 universes, we can see them all as one. So that universe or cosmos has no beginning and no end. If we want to talk about permanency, that is always here and to always be here. Yeah, this is what we are being asked to do, and it's very difficult. And the sun rises, it sets. People are born and they die. There's a time for everything, and so on. You start cooking, you finish cooking. You start eating, you finish eating. So we are used to something beginning and ending, and yet we live in a cosmos that perhaps has no such quality of ending and beginning. It's always been there and will always be there. How can we understand this? But we need to, and to apply that to us as Africans. How long have we as Africans been on this planet? How long? Well, from what we know, millions of years. But do we know what happened a million years ago? If we did, we've lost it all. I don't think anybody here remembers, or even humanity remember what happened a million years ago. All we'll do is look at the evidence here. The evidence there. Oh, there were some animals called dinosaurs. They were huge. Had long necks and so on. But all that is evidence, fossil fuel, fossil evidence, and so on. But in terms of human beings, even though our ancestors have lived here for millions of years, we don't remember what happened million years ago. Remember what happened years ago, 29 1,000 years ago.
Mother Kwame, it seems we are losing you. You are either breaking.
So it's hard for us, but the continent and developing the continent, which is asking us to do, is to think very. Yeah, I'll losing me. I'm having internet challenges today.
Okay, thank you. I think you'll allow us to read the next paragraph briefly, and then we can share our thinking in the next minutes remaining. Because I know the next paragraph is also short. We've lost you again. We've lost the screen again.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having internet challenges today. I don't know how.
Okay, let me share the screen.
In a moment.
Let me share the screen. Because I think I can be able to share the screen. Let me share the screen.
Yeah, I've shared it again. I don't know if you can see it.
Brother Kwame, we heard you up until dinosaurs.
Yes.
You're breaking. I know you have an internet problem. You're breaking a bit.
I've shared the screen again. For some reason, I'm having internet challenges today. So sorry about that. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it.
Okay, can you scroll down to the next immediate paragraph so that we can read it briefly, then now link it up as we continue the thinking again. Just scroll down a bit. But
that's a paragraph. That's where we
are. Yeah, we want to briefly read this paragraph following the nearly all who consider. We want to read that paragraph, then also continue the thinking and link it up. So I'll call upon. Let me check. Sister Ida, but are you on transit still, Sister Ida?
No, not anymore.
Can you be able to read that paragraph starting from? Yeah, nearly.
Okay. Nearly all who consider the question of the permanence of the world seek to anchor the world in a foundation of a permanent cause, which they identify with God. In this way, they hope that the universe will duly be protected, but all postulate something as abiding throughout the extent of time, be it the universe itself, cycles of it, or God. Indeed, the reluctance to conceive time as empty of all content is another manifestation of the desire for permanency. For the historical process is here accepted as an everlasting one, in order that time should not be disemboweled in this way. Permanence is secured.
Thank you, Sister Ida. So all members who are here, I will request you that before I reach to you, maybe to share your thinking, can you reread that paragraph that Sister Ida just read for us? Reread it, try to understand it and grasp it a bit so that we can be able to share our thinking when I reach you. But I know Brother Fokwa addressed this paragraph, and I think Brother Fokwa is a continuation of what you are describing up there. If you can be able now to just put more emphasis on this paragraph and expand it better, so that other people will also be coming and be able to also we get their thinking also as well. So Brother Fokwa, are you able to start us off?
Yes, just looking at the chapter, what I'm seeing is that Kruma's trying to bring out that in our weakness as humans, we appeal to the concept of God now to establish the permanence for our universe. You see it, and then he goes on to explain that we have a fear. Actually, you see, he says that the reluctance to conceive time is empty of all content is another manifestation of the desire for permanence. You see, so he says it's like we're trying to clutch on this belief that the universe will always be somehow in a degree of physical existence. I'm sure I think you understand what he's saying. You see, it goes with the idea of human fatalism and our frailty and wanting to essentially be, and because we can't grip with the fact of our own finite existence, we established now this belief, even if it's cycles, even if it has a beginning or an end. Some human beings want to adopt the belief in some type of a personal God, some being, some creator that cares so much about them that it would have also a priority to sustain this universe infinitely, so that your memories of yourself as a child and great exploits of Julius Caesars and George Washington's. I mean, like we're even, it's just triggering my head now to even think of the whole concept of us being placed inside a time sequence of a particular people or culture, with the Roman Empire giving us this sequence of belief in their God. Because if you want to say that, that is where Kruma would even be alluding to the concept of God in Western civilization, which we Africans have been forced to adopt in this context, would be the Christian God. Though we know there are many gods you can use to weigh this concept, and even further philosophically, I think that not even just the Christian God, we see that even in our nature-based spiritual religions indigenously, with mythology, you appeal to the God concept as a personification of nature to create meaning, to create a cause, to explain why, essentially, and it fits perfectly in the context of the text. You're trying to create a permanence. You want to have a meaning for all of this. So we cling to this finite existence that we have, giving a definition that it will always be, through creating a God concept. That's what I was able to read from this particular chapter, and it's really something to reflect on, because in any context, just like we realize there are many gods even in like the indigenous spiritual systems, which can be equated to the Western system. It gives us the freedom in this light to know that we can still develop cosmologies based on our indigenous systems, which still would have to face this conflict essentially in cosmology. That's where my own reflections go.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, Brother Mafava has left us, but I know you'll be joining us on Saturday. Thank you for sharing that you're thinking. I'll go to Brother Raspala. Brother Raspala, what can you share in regards to the paragraph shared on the screen?
Yes, give thanks, General. Blessed. Okay. No, I agree fully with the elder who just came now, but with what he said, and also just to add a few on the part of the Dogon people. You remember the last class I mentioned that our people, the Dogon people, are one of the Bantu people who came from Egypt when Egypt was invaded by the Arabs and the Greeks. So that is the information they can uh, the Series A star system is actually the solar system of the origin of our Bantu ancestors. You see, so just on that or just on that aspect of the Dogon, you see, and the celebration that they'll be having in the year 2027, which will be the 50-year rotation of Series B around the Series A constellation, which is the dog star, the star of Egypt. You see, so just on that in J context, we get to get a brief understanding. You understand that the time frames that we are using, we must always be mindful. I think even Elder Kwame alluded to this, that we must be mindful that in terms of the matter, most we were talking about the fundamental reasoning of this reasoning we're in today comes from this cosmic material, you understand? And the fact that the people are talking about that energy, which is in other form, the spirit, you understand? So when we date these times, we must forever be mindful. What I'm learning from what we're reasoning now, Pascal, is that we must always be mindful that when we're talking about the matter, now which includes all these matters in the periodic table, you see, we must know that they have a finite beginning and an end, you understand? And then when we're talking about spirit, or i.e. the energy, we must know that it is believed to be infinite. So in this paragraph, lastly, is that I pick Elder Kwame Nkrumah, because he was origins of our ancestors. I think that he is to, or he was to show us as the Africans that the Greek, who our African ancestors and ancestresses taught in our last civilization, which is the Egyptian civilization, you see, have only used, i.e. Christianity, you see, as the for white supremacy. That's all I pick up now. Otherwise, if we're trying to go to facts of the history, we begin to see that the people who are giving us folklore is actually the ones that are saying history is what it is, the Greek. And the one that are saying it's mystical history, which is the history of the ancient gods of Africa, in regard to the other ones that is actually true. Thank you.
Thank you very much, comrade. Of course, in my mother tongue, they call it, I don't know why it's not the father tongue, but it's on my mother tongue. They say that the past cannot be abused. They say chien kian, the past cannot be abused. So sometimes it's very important that we look into the past so that we can be able to understand what's the best way forward. And I think Nkrumah started this philosophy and ideology very well by taking us to the past of the philosophy. So thank you for sharing that. Brother Mauli, are you able to grasp something, comrade, that you can share your thinking in regards to what the text we have shared? I know you've joined recently, but now you're catching up. Brother Mauli or Comrade Mauli, the king. Okay, it seems you're not able to unmute yourself. The king Mauli. If you're not, then I'll move to Sister Ida.
Hello, sorry. I think what I'm getting from this is that people want to hold on to something. They don't want to think that there's nothing out there. So they're prepared to hold on to creation stories and the belief that there is a God out there. Because to not do so, it means that we are on our own. And then what is life about? I think that's what I'm getting from this bit, that people want a permanence in some way. They want to be able to think that there's something else out there. And they'll link it to gods or a god and try and make their lives anchor their lives in a belief. Thank you. That's what I think I'm reading from this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sister Ida. Comrade Joseph Antonio, I see your microphone is on. Do you like to share something, Joseph?
No, I'm playing with my phone.
Okay. Brother Mauli?
I'm just having problem with my phone. What is happening?
Okay, comrade. Brother Mauli?
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, are you able to read something from this paragraph that you can share, or you will still have to pass?
Oh, I'll still hold on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Sister Marlin? Sister Marlin? Maybe Sister Marlin is speaking, but she's still muted. Sister Marlin, can you unmute yourself if in case you're speaking? Okay. Comrade Nsa, do you have something to say? Are you able to share your thinking with us?
Yeah, actually, thank you so much for the opportunity. For,
Kindly
from the
proceed.
readings, so from the readings, I think what I could say is that actually Dr. Kuma realized that people actually want to forget what history had done to them, especially like the Africans. Like most of them usually tell us to at least forgive and forget what had happened to the African, be it the evil or the malice that the Africa went through. And you see now that they do this with the justification that at least there is hope for eternal life. And they hold on to it on the fact that unless you actually forgive and forget the the, the past, then you will not be able to meet this God that has created, that has brought creation into existence and predestined our future. So actually, for us as open mind to actually navigate our life in the universe, I think the right way for us is to take the middle passage, whereby we neither cling to a belief nor a God, knowing fully well that we are who we are, knowing with the perception that without actually believing to how do I pray? So actually, us putting our belief on a God, right, is a hindrance for us to actually navigate the universe and its processes smoothly. So actually, I think the best way for us is to take the passage, because of us taking a side, either left or right, either positive or negative, is a bias.
Okay, thank you. Or even though you've been slow up and down, the pitch has been up and down. I think it's network issue, but we were hearing you somehow loudly, somehow slowly. But thank you for sharing your thinking. I'll go to Sister Marlin. Sister Marlin? Sister Marlin? Okay. Brother Kwame, you can come in.
I don't think Sister Marlin is here. I don't think Sister Marlin is. She's probably watching something else.
You can proceed.
Yes,
You can come in.
Yeah, thank you. So just reading all we've read in the paragraph, which you've all shared. This question, we are still on this question of permanence. So is the universe or the cosmos permanent or not? Now, if we are saying that the origin of the cosmos is spirit, does that the cosmos is permanent? Alternatively, if we say that the cosmos has its origin in matter, are we saying it is permanent? Therefore, comrades appear to be saying that it is spirit that is permanent. And that because the fundamental elements are hydrogen and so on, the periodic, because if you like, created inside our cosmos that maybe they are not permanent, appear to be saying. Saying that when we say, when we do in because when you say spirit, you mean energy. When you say energy, do you mean spirit? When you say spirit and spirit energy, why think when we matter, we also don't mean that you can touch and that matter is not energy. That is only spirit that is energy. And why is spirit energy? And even if spirit is energy, how we understand, are idealists, because the only way we've been able to understand and analyze energy is through science, not through anything else. So those are the questions we need to deal with. And so whatever the origin is permanent. We have seen that even if it is infinite, it can still end. Therefore, infinitude is not a synonym for permanence. But when something is permanent, in that has no end. Therefore, this cosmos we live in, is it permanent? If it is permanent, then it means that the cosmic raw material is itself then permanent. It's permanent. Therefore, the cosmos is permanent. And when Nkrumah talks about Daniel, who consider the question of the permanence of the world, seek to anchor the world in the foundation of a permanent world, which identify with God. Nkrumah is not telling you to believe on that you. Yeah, that's not what he's saying. He's just analyzing the philosophy for us in terms of how our parents, our forefathers have understood it and passed it on to us. So must either believe or don't believe in God. That's not what he's saying. It's just analyzing it for us. We saw earlier that if you say that in terms of belief in God, in terms of theology, you say that God is either inside the universe or there is no outside. So at the end of it, with this, we have to ask ourselves, how apply this to our problems in Africa today? What is it tell us? How do we apply what we are reading? Situation in Africa. Will the Africa of and so on, will it end? Or is it a permanent thing? Will it end and a new world begin? A new universe begin for the African, where this old dominance and this dominance and oppression, suppression, these who are not interested in the welfare. Will this end and a new one begin? So those are the questions that this paragraph is throwing at us. Yeah? So I'll end there, Brother Pete.
Thank you very much, Brother Kwame. Despite all the challenges you have in network, as you've tried to be with us and share your thinking, I do appreciate that. We have 4 minutes to time. I would like to get if there's anyone. Yes, I wanted to give very short, maybe or thinking or opinion or sharing thinking of anybody who is willing to do so. And I see Brother Joseph Antonio on this up. We only have 4 minutes to the end of the time. Brother Joseph Antonio.
Yeah, the name is Joseph Antoine. although it might mean the same thing anyway. Because I was not at the beginning, I am not too sure I can make a proper contribution. But I would like to say part of the problem we face as people of African heritage or descendants is that we've been taught in that whole enterprise of belief, and the belief, the investment in belief is one of the problems that we that have imprisoned us, because without belief we are fine of who we are fine, we are we are okay. But with belief, we have to contend with the unbelief and the misbelief and so on. So I think the only thing that is certain about the existence of the human being is that he exists. Whatever new form he takes in the future, maybe it's not our business at the moment. It's for that period or that other manifestation to reveal. But the fact that we are existing, that we can be aware of our existence now, I think that's the most important. And we may try to use the intellect to understand the past and even the future, but maybe that's not necessary. The key is to know is to stand in the present, in the moment of now, knowing that it didn't arrive just like that, and probably it wouldn't disappear like that neither. So I thought I would just add that. And maybe relying less on belief and more on knowing from the depth of our own being, we will be more at peace and and maybe in the ascendancy. Thanks.
Thank you, Comrade, for that.
Sorry, Pigeon.
Yes.
So
yes.
What I like to.
Comrade, we can't hear you.
For further,
You're fading in and out.
Can't hear me.
You keep fading
we can't
in
hear
and
you.
out.
So sorry. Okay, okay, that's it then. I will. It's okay because it's my internet.
We
I
can
can't
hear
do
you
much
clearly.
about it.
We can
I
hear
don't
you clearly. We can hear you. We can hear you clearly. Maybe you're moving out far from your microphone, something like that, but you can hear you.
You know what? You can hear me now, brother. It's not moving.
Very softly.
Yeah? The speaker is right to my mouth. So what I am saying is that brother Joseph, hopefully will join us in the future to discuss, be sharing with us the difference between knowing and belief, and what he means by knowing. And I'm to do it, but I think he should join us for so that we can understand what he means.
Okay.
Yes, I'll be willing to elaborate in the future once I'm able to attend the session. Yeah, because I think it's important. Our people have been able to know, and I'll give you a quick example. Many years ago, I learned about some of the folks in Suriname, some of the people of African descent in Suriname. Some U.S. professor went to that area in Suriname, and one of the people, the local people, they discovered and noticed some aberration, some so on one of the professors' hand. So he asked him,
brother Anthony,
yes.
Anthony, I'm not saying you should
Okay, no problem, but I'll be willing to explain. Okay. To elaborate. Thanks.
Okay, thank you all.
Yeah.
I think we have come to the end of this class today.
I'm not saying, brother Anthony, that I should explain to.
Brother Kwame, we can't hear you. Okay. I think we'll proceed later. So
because I'm not speaking. Can you hear me now? I'm now speaking. Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes,
so
I can hear you.
What I'm saying is that brother Joseph should hopefully join us to explain more. And the reason I say so is that he should explain to us the difference between knowing and belief. And the reason that is important is that what we are reading about the cosmos ultimately may have nothing to do with belief, or everything to do with belief. What we may know inside ourselves may not in the end matter, because the universe has always been here before we arrived. And so what we know may be right or it may be wrong or whatever. So that is not as straightforward as it sounds. But my internet hasn't been excellent, and I haven't heard all that he said. So it'd be nice to really have him here from Grenada, I believe, to share with us his thoughts. Very, very, very interesting. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm from Grenada. Yes, I'm from Grenada, and I'll be willing to come back. Thank you.
Okay, thank
I
you very much. We
invited
come to...
Joseph.
Okay. Thank you, Sister Marin, and thank you everyone else. Brother Joseph had shared the link to our WhatsApp group in the chat, where you can either join our group so that you can get updated. And I've also shared the contact. You can contact me so that I can add in our broadcast list, where you can get update of our coming classes so that you can continuously join us. But I'll also be trying as much as possible to share also this link in the GSC group, where most of you, of course, the new people who have joined us today have got the link from. I'll be sharing it there so that you can continue having this conversation. Now, without any other further contribution or comments, I'd like to bring this meeting to an end and say that I thank you all for attending today. On Saturday, we are having a presentation from Swaziland. We'll be assessing the situation in Swaziland, and we understand and come up with the points of action. And Brother Fokwa will be taking a few minutes after that presentation to put into context the presentation in Swaziland in regards to his continuous presentation on the shadow government that is doing for us on this next Saturday and this Saturday, so that we can be able to understand whatever is happening from the background, not what we see on the picture on the background, what is really going on the background before we see whatever going on in the different countries in Africa. So Swaziland would be a point of study, and I think it will help us moving forward. So once again, I'd like to end the recording here, and do appreciate your presence today, and see you again on Saturday. Thank you.